Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Crones and a Book with me, Annette, and as always,
Chell.
Chell.
I just nearly
We
choked then. I was trying not to choke as I said it. The timing was all like, fuck.
choking on her own name. It's going to be that kind of episode, guys. Buckle up. So we're back again with another book bingo for you. Woo 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 woo. Which I don't know about you, Charlotte. I'm absolutely fucking loving doing this series.
I am. Yeah, I really am. And I'm having a relatively good run as well. So, yeah, no, 100%. It was
Oh
a good
yeah.
idea.
This is such a good idea. I hope you guys are following along or having your own kind of book bingo at home as well. Because honestly, it just changes up your reading routine. And if you're in a rut, this is such a great idea
Yeah.
to experiment with, honestly. But for this week's episode, we are looking at books outside of your comfort zone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, this could have gone very many ways because that's always the fun thing about you and me. It's never the same kind of idea that it goes down. So, Shell, I mean, I'm really intrigued. What did you pick that's outside of your comfort zone?
I really struggled to pick something. So,
Yeah,
not with what I got, but with picking something. Because you know what I'm like, I'm pretty erratic in my reading and I will read most things if they're in English. Not
yeah.
a massive fan of poetry, although I do like certain types of poetry. There are certain ones. So I really struggled, but I was talking to a friend, Holly,
Yeah.
and she recommended hetero smut.
Oh, ew.
So yeah, I was like, actually, that's not something I would ever have thought
No.
to
For
pick
you,
up.
no.
Heterosexual smut. Um,
If anybody's not aware of this, can you recount the story of 50 Shades of Grey in the supermarket with your mother?
yes, that was so funny. So when 50 Shades was a big thing when it first came out, I was wandering around Asda's with my mum, and my mum was like, "Everyone's reading that, and they're all going on about it, and it's supposed to be really, really spicy." I was like, "No, mum, it's mummy porn. Like, there's nothing in it." And she was like, "What do you mean, like mummy porn?" So I picked up a copy of the book, opened it up, and it was a chapter, a smutty section. And I started to read the smutty section. Now, when I read, my tone changes and I become slightly better with my pronunciation. So I'm standing in Asda's next to a trolley and I'm reading about, I can't even remember what it was now, throbbing members or cable ties or whatever the hell it was. And I'm reading it and I look up and my mum is in absolute stitches because there's all these people have stopped and are looking at me as I'm standing there like it's some kind of fucking play library group for toddlers, only I'm reading mummy porn. And there was a little old lady who looked like she was going to have a heart attack. And my mum was just absolutely killing herself with laughter. She was creasing up.
I love it.
So,
It's one
yeah.
of my favourite stories, honestly.
So, hetero porn is not normally my bag. Um, Holly reads, she reads quite a bit of it. It's junk for her, it's trashy reading.
Yeah.
And the one that in particular that she recommended is called A Hot Flash of Homicide, a steamy romantic comedy murder mystery, a Flamingo Cove book. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm
Okay.
gonna read you the synopsis first.
I think I'm out of my comfort zone, by the way, just reading that.
Well, the synopsis is as follows. My 40th birthday gift, having to arrest my one night stand for murder. I should have known my big birthday would be a disaster. First, my family forgot, classic 16 candles move. Then, perimenopause decided to crash the party with attitude. And, to top it off, I'm in big trouble for punching my boss. But those were extenuating circumstances. Things were looking up when a drop dead gorgeous silver fox offered himself as my birthday present. I found myself in the arms of the sexiest stranger I'd ever met. It was supposed to be one unforgettable night until I had to arrest him for murder. Figures, when I asked for a lady killer, I didn't mean that literally. My name is Sergeant Wisdom Ward. Life can't get much more complicated than this, right? I'm just asking for a friend. That's the synopsis, right?
Yeah.
There's a little tagline that says, if you like Veronica Mars, you'll love this. It's like Stephanie Plum. I have no idea who that is, but it's like Stephanie
No.
Plum turns 40. Hot Flash of Homicide is the first book in a completed Flamingo Cove quartet. Get ready for spicy romantic comedy, murder mysteries featuring a quirky over 40 couple and plenty of laugh out loud moments. Each book in the series delivers a happy for now ending as Wisdom inches closer to her happily ever after. It is 274 pages. This was book one, 274 pages. Publication date was March 2021. Author, I can't remember if I said the author. Author is Dawn Dugle, Dugle. It's currently free on Kindle Unlimited. Couldn't find it on Kobo or anywhere else. I had to dig out the Kindle, but it's free on Kindle Unlimited or it's 77 pence in the UK.
All right. So
Now,
Chell.
yeah, I'm slightly apprehensive. Do you know what? I really enjoyed it.
Oh, no
I did. I really, really enjoyed it. The humor and the tone, it was like talking to a friend about their life. The humor in here is absolutely hilarious. Her writing it's entertaining. I'll come to the smut in a moment. But her general writing and her storytelling, it really is a bit of a feel good, easy read. This woman, a lot of it is in the narrative of the main character and the way that she describes stuff and the things that happen to her, you can just relate to the absurdity of it. So right at the
way.
beginning, when she meets this bloke and she goes back to his gaff, and they're going to get it on, she decides that she's going to pull out his belt in a sexy one move. She unbuckles his belt and she's going to whip it out. Only as she pulls the belt off of his trousers, she hits herself in the face with it and cuts her cheek. It's
This feels a little too real.
like it is just the absolute absurdity of it. I'm just trying to pull up my bloody note. There we go. I'm going to give you a little extract. He looked perfect in the morning sunlight, as if he had been up for hours, gone for a run, saved some orphans from a burning building, and still had time to solve the student loan crisis. It's that kind of sarcastic. It's our humour, you know.
Right. Okay.
Another description here. She pulled an all-nighter. She's talking about the person who's done an autopsy. She pulled an all-nighter to finish the autopsy and looked like the female version of Albert Einstein. Her short blonde hair stood up in different directions and she had crazy, crazy eyes. It's it's such an easy read, but that is the
Oh.
tone of the book all the way through.
Right.
The smart, it, looking at it from a gay point of view,
Mm.
it was more about entertainment rather than it doing anything for you. But it was absurdly relatable. Things like, so the first time they're going to have a bit of nook, and so anyone out of the UK, nook is a shag, sex, getting it on, however you want to do it. So,
Intercourse.
Annette with the correct terminology. They're about to have a bit of nook, and they're getting their kit off. And it's things like she's suddenly realizes she can feel his knob against her ankle. Do you know?
The penis. That's penis. For the people in the back, I'll say it again. Penis.
His knob. Right. But it is just I didn't think I would. I thought this was going to be one of the ones that was just for the sake of it to tick the bingo card. You know what
Yeah.
you think? Oh, but no, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the tone. I liked the character. I liked her outlook on life, slightly pessimistic stroke realistic, and
Yeah.
narrated with a tone of sarcasm that you and me could really relate to. If you read this, I think you'd
Right.
really enjoy it as well. Even though it is based in America, so it's not British. It's based in America. I can't remember where.
Yeah.
Um, but it had a very, what I would consider a British humour to it. That subtle undertone of, oh, here we go again. Do you know, like, and honestly, I was actually chuckling out loud, especially with the belt bit when she pulls this belt out and she's cut her cheek, and then when she wakes up the next morning as well, and she's doing the walk of shame, as some would call it. It was so funny, honestly, and her police partner. So she's in the police, but also a police partner, he brings an element to it as well of sheer entertainment. He's a gay guy and he is just telling her exactly how it is. There's one night when they're going out and he's like, "You are not coming out anywhere." He turns up and he's in a Hugo Boss suit and looking absolutely fabulous. And he takes one look at her and he's like, "No, like you're not wearing that out."
Oh, that felt real. That
Yeah.
definitely felt real.
And then he's rummaging in the cupboard to try and find something. There's a whole like back and forth about, "I'm not wearing that, it's pink." Do you know? It just honestly, if you are looking, you and in particular in it, if you're looking for something that is an easy, entertaining read, you're not offended by a little bit of smart, a little bit of sprinkle of smart, but it does genuinely have a story with it. I would recommend this. I think you'd really
Oh
enjoy it.
my God.
Yeah, it yeah. Thank you, Holly. Do you know?
Wow, Holly, good call.
Yeah, like I say, I genuinely thought it was going to be one of them things that it was just going to be a tick box exercise just for the sake of the bingo card. But once I
Yeah.
started it, it was yeah, it was it was really entertaining. I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the character in it. Not sure about
Oh,
throbbing
wow.
members on ankles and things like that, but you
Oh,
know.
not on your ankle.
But no, it was good. It was really really good. There is a subtle story to it. It's not going to do your head in, but it's going to make you want to keep reading the next chapter. So I
Wow.
recommend it. I would say it's really, really good. I've struck gold. Thank you again, Holly.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God, brilliant.
What did you read?
Um, I'm definitely about to change the entire tone of this now. You've read something really light, fun, bit sexy, and I have gone to
Book of the
where
Dead. No,
I.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I've read the Necronomicon, and we're all fucked. Bringing about the apocalypse, kind of out of my comfort zone. No, no, as you know, Chell, I, I again, thought I was going to struggle with this,
Yep.
and initially, I read this almost by accident for this episode because I had started initially reading this for a different one we had done, which was about covers that
Yep.
intrigued you. And again, this was another one that I'd seen from Paperbacks from the
Mm.
Dead. And I had a feeling it might go down a route I wasn't going to be comfortable with, but I read it
Yep.
anyway. And it is Let's Go Play at the Adamses by Mendal W. Johnson. I don't know if you've heard of it
I
before, Shell.
haven't. I'm completely blind.
Right, so this, let me just say, it's widely regarded as one of the most disturbing and harrowing horror novels ever written.
Oh my God.
I know. Uh, it is a brutal, psychologically intense story that often leaves readers feeling empty, harrowed, and sickened. Okay. Yeah. Now I will before I right, so I'll give you the synopsis
Yep.
first. And it says, "They're just kids. It's only a game." That's what Barbara, a lovely 20-year-old babysitter, told herself when she awoke, bound and gagged. But the knots were tight and painful, and the children would not let her go. "They're just kids. It's only a game," she told herself again. But the terror was real and deadly. In the decade since its original publication, Mendal W. Johnson's bestseller Let's Go Play at the Adamses, 1974, has gained a reputation as one of the most harrowing horror novels ever written. and copies have long been unobtainable except at exorbitant
Hmm.
prices. Now, this first ever audiobook version, which I listened to, of the novel, read by award winning narrator Matt Godfrey, adds a new dimension of horror to this cult masterpiece. It comes in at 10 hours and 7 minutes listening time. I think I did it at a 1.2 or a
Hmm.
1.5. Again, it's published by Valancourt, which handles a lot of the books it seems that I've gone through for these lists. But what I will say before I continue on with this, trigger warnings, we are talking about but I do, look at me, I'm being awkward. I don't like even say the word, but it deals with issues of rape,
Right.
abuse and
Hmm.
violence. So this is definitely one, as you could tell, because I'm not even comfortable saying those words, that I was like, okay, do I do this? Because I have quite a strict policy set, that I
Same.
do not like to read
Yeah.
anything that involves rape. Anything that could involve children can be awkward as well. I'm going to say there is no rape of children involved in this
Hmm.
before I go on further as well. But again, it is trigger warnings. So I was nervous at starting
Yeah.
this, but what I will say is I'm glad I read it actually.
Are you?
Yeah, it is very it's startlingly brutal. It's startling its brutality. The brutality is not only against this character Barbara, but there's a level of brutality amongst the children themselves.
Okay.
So this book is definitely not for the faint-hearted, as it contains graphic depictions of torture, sexual abuse, and murder. Saying that, I was able to disassociate from the violence for the most part,
Mm.
and was more drawn to the inner workings of the characters' thoughts and feelings as the days dragged on,
Okay.
and their submissions into their roles as captives and captors and
Hmm.
captive. Any hopes of escape for Barbara are far and few between, and very quickly dashed, feeding into a nihilistic, bleak, hopeless atmosphere throughout.
Yeah.
I struggle with some of the thought processes that Barbara puts herself through after a very traumatic event happens.
Yeah.
The way she's kind of rationalizing things in her head, but you know,
True.
you could put yourself into that position mentally in this character, and you could probably, it's, though those things happen, I think they were handled quite well
Okay.
by the author. As I said, I won't read anything like this. I won't watch anything like this. But for me, then, to actually sit down and read this
And finish it.
and finish it and be able to share this was quite something. And I didn't come out feeling disgusted
Yep.
afterwards. And that's quite big for me. But this is not gonna be an easy read for a lot of people. But then I can't stop reiterating that this would not be a normal, comfortable read for me. This is completely out of my zone.
Yep.
I would never read anything like it. But I'm kind of glad I did, because though it has this reputation and these incidents do happen, I think the way it is written
Yep.
and the aftermath and what happens when you're dissecting the characters and their
Hmm.
reactions to things and their interactions to things, I think it just gives it a completely different level. It's not exploitative.
Okay.
I would say it's not an exploitative book. It's almost like an examination of a
Okay.
situation, is how I would say it. But it is very bleak, and it is a bleak ending. So be prepared for that. But I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but if anybody would be,
So being mindful that it's brutal, that the contents are to do with rape, violence against women, safe to say, violence within the
yes,
child group. So
yes.
you'd have to be
Yeah.
mindful of that going into it.
Yeah, it's not only physical, but it's also
Yeah.
psychological as well. So it's covering all those no bases.
Yeah. And you finished it.
I did, as I said, there's something about it that you can disassociate yourself from the violent acts. I mean, there is one. but because why these things are happening, it's more like it's not going into excruciating detail of what's happening. You're more in the minds of those that it's happening to,
Yep.
or the ones that are doing it to them. So it's what their processes are going on behind the eyes while these events are happening. So you are seeing it, but you're not seeing it at the same time.
Would you read more of the same stuff? Would you read more stuff by the same author?
I would read more stuff by the same author. I would not necessarily read something else like this again,
Yep.
obviously, because I think I got quite lucky with reading this. Even though it has such a massively bad reputation, I think there's far worse exploitative things out there.
What was the
So yeah,
writing like?
I thought well, let's say, how can you say you
No,
enjoyed
but
it?
we're
Sounds
not
wrong,
talking about
doesn't
the
it?
contents. We're talking just about the
Yeah,
writing. So the flow of the narrative and the joining together of the story or the plot, forgetting what it is. How was that?
yeah. I would say it was very much helped by the narrator,
Yep.
Matt Godfrey, handled it beautifully. The distinctions between the different characters are so clear and
Yep.
so relevant. I think it flowed very well. The the building of menace was just
Yep.
amazing. I mean, it creates such great atmosphere. The writing, yeah, no context is lost in this. I think it, as I said again, it was so well handled, and just seeing those relationships
Mm.
between the different characters was wonderful. And I would say with Barbara's point of view after certain incidences or leading up to, you could kind of get lost in the thought, well, this is a man's point of view of what a
Mm-hmm.
woman at that age would be thinking if these things happen to her. But then at the same time, you've got to remember when it's set, and there are certain, like, so this is written in the early 70s, so you're probably looking at like late 60s,
Yep.
early 70s, and those kinds of points of view. I could imagine that there would be those responses
Yep.
to rationalize situations in one's head um through these events, and it can come off as quite dated, but no, actually,
Mm.
in a world when you're trying to rationalize
Yep.
brutality, you could imagine it. She's just desperately trying to pick at things
To
to,
survive. Yeah.
to survive and make sense of things. Most brutal thing I've probably read. At the same time, it's not exploitative at the same time.
Right.
So that's where I'm a
Yeah.
muddle with it, you know.
Yeah. So you've got a little bit of conflict with what you've read, and you've taken us to a dark, dark place.
I know. I am so sorry. We should have gone the other way round.
Dark, dark.
Oh my god.
So you're glad that you read it.
Oh yeah.
The writing, we're forgetting the plot for
Yes.
a moment. The writing you found was good. The pace of the book was good.
Yes, definitely. The narration was
The narration was
fantastic.
fantastic. Be mindful of the period that it was written in, you said. Sorry, just to recap.
Yes.
And that if this is something that you're going to pick up, if anyone's going to pick up and read, I won't be reading it because of what you've already said.
No.
But if you are
Yeah,
going to pick
obviously.
it up, be mindful that there is rape and that there is violence against women and that there is violence involving children.
Yes. Yes. That, like, nothing too horrific with the children. I mean, it's just like kids infighting type
Mm,
of thing. But, so it doesn't get any, but there's discussion around events that have
yeah.
happened. It's not, so yeah, again, it was still violence
Dark,
involving
dark,
children.
dark.
It is, but I was fascinated by it. I was
Mm.
completely fascinated. It was, to be, like I said, I can't believe I was able to take such a backseat in experiencing this book.
And finish
I
it,
mean, this would have
considering the
been,
contents.
and
Yeah,
finish it.
we're quite
Yeah,
similar although we're not similar in all our reading styles or our practice. That's something that we generally share. It's, nope, not reading that. Going to put that
yeah,
down. So the fact that you finished it is kind of a testament to the book as well.
yeah, 100%. Because again, if it was in any way, because I've read stuff like that's available on bookshelves
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, where I'm shocked that
Yeah.
it's out there, and I've put them down and I've walked away from them. That has involved worse things than this, but yet this I don't think it's been given the right kind of
Mm-hmm.
exploration, because it has just this bang reputation of being this horrific book that again for years was unavailable
Yeah.
anywhere, which is understandable because of the content of it, and it's just all about this blob of time where this happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing else around it. It's these events and what's happening. But no, I'm glad I read it. I won't be delving into anything else in this subgenre.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me. But no, I'm glad I read it at the end of it.
And it's
Yeah,
another
definitely.
example of how that fucking book bingo has pushed us into so many things that we wouldn't
Oof,
normally pick up and touch.
100%.
Mm. So thank you for taking us down that dark, twisty tunnel. We started off all light and fluffy. Hot flash of Homicide is still my go-to, and I'm glad I went with that. If you want to go down a dark and twisty and disturbing and unsettling route, follow Annette's.
I'd love to know what's worse, this or Playground.
Yeah, I'm not going to read it. Playground was enough. Y-
I'm looking on Audible where I've been reading the info, and it's like listeners who picked this title also picked
Yeah, no,
Playground.
Playground.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Playground wasn't for me. Who was? I was talking to someone, and they listen to the podcast, and they follow a lot of the books. So a lot of their reading is based on what we've read. So we kind of, they do a mix of
Yeah,
other stuff as well, but they a lot. I'm surprised at the amount actually that it's David, the amount that David goes, oh, actually that sounds okay. So and he will read a lot of it, which is great because then I get his perspective as well. Because I go to him, what
yeah,
do you think? He's a big fan of AM Shine as well now. Absolutely loved it. Yeah.
yeah, David.
um. So yeah, he follows it, and it was him. He said to me, "Oh, because you said about Playground." I was like, "Don't read it." Do you know,
Yeah,
half of the horror of the book was not included in the episode where we spoke about it. I really dialed that
yeah.
down, and that was enough for me. I'm afraid I won't be able to do the comparison for you unless you want to read Playground yourself.
No. No. By the way, I've just found out that my sister now listens to us. So, sis, don't do this. Do not read this book. It is not for you. You will not like this
Just
book.
be clear. Be clear.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
um,
mm-mm.
if anybody does read it, I'd like
Yeah.
to know what they thought, even if it's just a star
Yeah, I'd
rating.
like. Yeah, like how did they feel the same way as me? Could they
Mm.
disassociate?
And if they
Yeah,
were brave enough to read Playground as
definitely.
well, how it compares, they might be able to answer
Yeah.
your question for you.
Yeah. And then yeah. then then maybe you need to talk to somebody if these are the kind of books you read.
I think it's back to that thing where everybody has that one or two things that are just no's for them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was one. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember his name now. I think it was. Is his name Jack Ketchum? Yeah, The Girl Next Door. Now that I won't
No.
read because that's kind of like the same vein as this. So I had a horrible feeling it was going to be the same
Yeah.
thing.
No, it's not
But
my area. I'm uncomfortable just thinking
no,
about what
yeah.
you've said so far. So
Yeah, so that's another. I swore blind I would never read anything like that, which I never did. But like I said, I've gone down this route. I'm glad I did.
mhm.
It's something now I've done. I do not have to go
Yeah.
back to this genre
And
again.
if you don't want to go that dark and extreme, Hot Flash of Homicide was fabulous.
Everyone's like, I'll take the throbbing member on my ankle. Thank you very much.
What have we got next? What bloody rabbit
Oh my
hole are you
gosh!
sending me down next?
Right, so we've got
You've always got the
to
dice.
do the
So,
number generator.
oh, you're doing the number generator this
Let's
time.
go, go, go. Yeah, I've got a dice on me. I'll do a good number generator.
Yeah, doing a little fake
Having
drum
sound
roll.
effects. So the next one, oh, it's number 4, a book with a colour in the title.
Lovely. Okay, well, thanks for your traumatizing, dampening, mood killing bingo find, Annette.
You're so
Yeah,
welcome.
thanks. And like we said before, if you have read either of the books, we'd love to know what you thought. And Annette in particular would like to know if you have read her read and you've also read Playground. Not that we are particularly recommending them. Be mindful of the trigger warnings. If you have, though, can you
Yeah.
let her know if they're in the same vein?
Yes, please. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Bye.